funny cartoon in there. When Jeffy ripped the robo arm off that scar collector.
Come in, Team November, Ranger HQ here. A squad of BAMFs rolled up to Ranger HQ, rough mercenary types. Their leader goes by Gary Wolf, claims to be an ex-Ranger. Says he has news for you about your old enemy. Seems like the cutthroat take-no-prisoner type. Over. Badass motherfuckers. That's a negative. Some hurt feelings and broken pottery, maybe, but they appear to be friendlies. No idea. Your guess is as good as mine. We'll be here. Over and out.
My family will be avenged. Only person who knew the combination to that safe was my mom. If you think you can guess it,
My dearest Lucia, I pray this message finds its way to you, as it is the last I'm ever likely to give.
Be of no use to anybody in this condition.
Horses done tore through here and flooded the house until the cat steal. Keeping it boarded up.
it's the park.
Her husband was there. Poor woman.
Your wardrobe is creative.
I heard Mr. Howe found himself a pretty blonde thing.
You are safe here.
Ah, you're the Rangers, yes? I'm most pleased to see you. I'm Gideon Reyes.
Uncle Gideon, you heard about my family?
I did, Sabrina, and I'm so sorry. You know you always have a place in my house, for as long as you need.
I know. And I am grateful. But I have a place with these Rangers now. We mean to see justice done for my family.
Is that so, Rangers? She was always an impressive girl. My sister would be proud of her. Now, I expect you're here about my call. There is a situation in Colorado Springs that requires a delicate touch. But first, you need to know the truth about this city. Colorado Springs isn't as prosperous as it pretends. We can barely feed our existing population, and now smugglers are bringing refugees into the city every day. If we had enough food to support them, we would welcome them. But we don't. I've asked the Patriarch to chase off these smugglers, but he says the crisis with the Dorseys and his children have left the Marshals spread too thin. It seems he'd rather just have Sheriff Daisy keep putting refugees in the pillories, rather than stopping the tide at its source. It's infuriating. And that is why I've called you. You're right, Rangers. I am suggesting you to treat the symptom rather than the cause. But that is because the symptom is about to overwhelm us. And the cause, well, it is very difficult to change the Patriarch's mind. And if it can't be done, the alternative would be changing the regime. Which, even for those who have wanted it most, has seemed impossible. Thus, we must address things that are possible, like discouraging smugglers from bringing refugees to the city. Don't put words in my mouth, Rangers. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm merely stating realities. My loyalty to the Patriarch goes without saying. But let's save any talk of politics until after this refugee crisis is dealt with. Are you willing to help me or not? The plains, mostly. After the Patriarch defeated the eastern gangs, people started settling out there, thinking it was safe. Now the gangs have returned, and all the homesteaders are fleeing back to Colorado Springs. Not at all. You will be well rewarded, and not just in money. I do a lot of business with the local Arapaho garage, and I can get them to provide you with the mechanics to service your vehicle. They always have the best, and I'll pay for everything. Thank you. I'm told the smugglers are operating out of the bazaar, a trader's market east of Colorado Springs. When you find them, well, do what you can. Convince them to take the refugees elsewhere. Convince them to stop entirely. Arrest them. I just want this problem to go away. Thank you for agreeing to help. You are doing Colorado Springs a great service. Goodbye, and good luck.
Read the last issue. Oh, real funny cartoon in there. When Jeffy ripped the robo arm off that scar collector, I cracked up.
Got a You're the CO around here? Huh. Okay. Quality setup this time. Better than back in AZ. Guess Daddy Buchanan's buying you all the good gear. Gary Wolf, freelance security consultant and synth hunter. Got a proposition for you. I helped the Rangers during their whole Cochise debacle. They might have come out strong if they'd listened to me. Too bad. After the Rangers nuked Cochise, and themselves, I figured somebody competent had to chase down its mechanical brood. So I recruited folks who'd lost family to synths, and I formed a posse. Decommissioned a dozen of the plastic punks in AZ, then heard a feud headed east and followed them here. Now I'm getting flack from that tin star twat Daisy for exchanging fire with the synth we tracked to Colorado Springs. That's where you come in. Interferent bitch told the marshals to shoot us on sight if we stepped inside the city limits again, so we can't go after this October 11 synth. Was hoping you might be interested in taking care of it for us. Cash bounty for its head. Jesus, you're not one of those, are you? Fucking simps are always talking about how synths are sentient. They have feelings. Bullshit. That's how they trick you. Synths are just top-grade robots. What makes them dangerous is that every one of them has a little piece of Cochise in their electric brain, like a virus. And if you leave them alone for too long, that virus spreads. And pretty soon we have the goddamn robot apocalypse all over again. Not on my watch. We cap them as soon as we see them. Don't give them a chance to talk. Are you kidding me? Cochise is the Rangers' greatest enemy, a supercomputer that almost exterminated them twice, and which built an army of synths to kill every last human on Earth. Rangers aren't training their recruits at all these days, are they? Yeah, no idea why. Synths are weird that way. It and another synth called Tourmaline K'd some civs on their way here, just for kicks. So watch yourselves. 11 is a stone killer. Gotta be neutralized before it kills again. And killing it will help us find its comrades. All synths got a radio in their heads. Lets them communicate long distance and triangulate on each other. Once I crack 11's head open, I'll hack it for their locations. You want to go after the others too? I'll make it worth your time. We cornered 11 downtown and tried to take it out quietly. But there was a snafu and we had to open fire. Shot up the street, wounded some civs. Silly bitch wouldn't listen when I warned her about the synth. Acted like we were the problem and sent us packing. Fuck her.
Hey now, that's my ex-boss you're talking about, Hoss.
Lucky you quit then. She's a frag candidate for sure. Add it to your list? Ought to be your top priority. Whatever. We'll wait here until you bring back its head. Should still be downtown somewhere. You'll know you're near it when you start hearing weird static on your radio. Squad, at ease.
You found that rogue synth yet? The one that's supposed to be hiding downtown?
Welcome back, Team November.
Come say hey when you're free.
What do you need, Rangers? I'll do what I can. Have a seat. I won't. I never do.
I heard there's a synth hiding downtown. I always think of synths as family, somehow, since Dr. Finster was half synth. You already have a clone, and I don't have any more goo, so I'm sorry. I can't extract. Thanks, Rangers!
Read the last.
closed until further notice. City dumps totally laid by local youth.
Boy.
Maybe I'll join the marshals. You do like roughing people up.
You get drummed out in a second, you crackpot.
I'm sure they could use my help. I even got my own blackjack.
Why, hello there. My name's Old Baldy, and this here is the Saul Buchanan, Colorado Heritage Museum, or, as I like to call it, home. Me and my friends here dedicated telling the story of old Saul Buchanan and the refounding of the great state of Colorado, which is just the first step in Saul's plan to bring back the good old United States of America. Now, just stroll from stage to stage, and we'll tell you the story along the way. It's as simple as that. Any questions before you go? Well, I don't want to spoil the show, but it begins with Saul's humble start in this very town. And it follows the trials and tribulations he faced uniting the 100 families, defeating the monster army, and bringing peace and security to Colorado. And, in case you were worried, it's suitable for children of all ages. Stop! Step back! It is against museum rules to fondle the displays. Saul Buchanan is far too modest for such egotistical shenanigans. No, sir, it was the 100 families who built this place as a gracious thank you to the patriarch for all he's done for them. Look just like my picture, don't I? Now, wait a minute. Let me give you my good side. There you go. I gotta admit, though, I'm looking better than I was. Life's been pretty tough on old Baldy since the world went to pot. Lost a lot of feathers. But now that Patriarch Buchanan's rebuilding America, I'm starting to feel like my old self again. I'm sorry, friend. I'm afraid I don't know that word. Great. Then on with the show. Youngest son of the Buchanan clan. Brave survivors of the fall of man. Baby Saul grew straight like a tree.
The 100 families came to CO Springs, and all fell to fighting over frivolous things, till Saul raised their heads to the circling wings of the vultures who were waiting to dine like kings. He said that the only way to save the land was to bury the hatchet and all shake hands. So they signed the treaty in a single day and begged him to lead them and show them the way. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again. Families behind him Saul went to war and fought all the monsters of Satan's bazaar. He lined them all up and he cut them all down till Flap the inhaler. Well, the Dorseys thought they had a better idea, believed they could rule by murder and fear. Then came the gangs of the eastern plains, hoping to rob us of our worldly gain. Old Saul saw him coming and he rolled up his sleeves. He said, "You're all nothing but a pack of thieves." Strong as an ox at 70. He faced down the center. The 100 families came to CEO Springs, and all fell to fighting over frivolous things, till Saul raised their heads to the circling wings of the vultures who were waiting to dine like kings. He said that the only way to save the land was to bury the hatchet and all shake hands, so they signed the treaty. Well, the Dorseys thought they had a better idea. Believed they could rule by murder and fear. Tried to steal Colorado from our patriarch, but all Saul proved his bite was worse than his bark. Drove out the Dorseys and gave their land to the poor and the needy and the Indians. Oh, mercy for the merciless was his stand, so he hunted the Dorseys to the very last man. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again. Well, the Dorseys thought they had a better idea. Believed they could rule by murder and fear. Tried to steal Colorado from our patriarch, but all Saul proved his bite was worse than his bark. Drove out the Dorseys and gave their land to the poor and the needy and the Indians. Oh, mercy for the merciless was his stand, so he hunted the Dorseys to the very last man. Is Buchanan a man? Oh boy, what a man. The truest of men. You could say that again. The 100 families came. Then came the king of the eastern plains, opened the robbers of a worldly gate. With the families behind him, Saul went to war and fought all the monsters of. Well, the Dorseys thought they had a better idea. From a
youngest son of the Buchanan clan, brave survivors of the fall of man. Baby Saul grew straight like a...
With the families behind him, Saul went to war and fought all the monsters of Satan's bazaar. He lined them all up and he cut them all down till Flab the Inhaler surrendered his crown. Buchanan spared Flab and made him a deal.
If your boys work for me, they'll never miss a meal.
Flab signed up on the dotted line. Now his monsters keep us safe in the evening time. Well, the Dorseys thought they had a better idea. Believed they could rule by murder and fear. The 100 families came to see you.
Hey, y'all! I found me some old brake fluid in the barn! Bring your guns! We're gonna have us...
Stay vigilant, citizens. Communists are everywhere. They hate and fear us because we are free. Trust in the Gipper, and may the God President bless America.
remember you. We met before. Looking to trade? You all are buttering me up one side and down the other, but just some odds and ends I've taken to trade might be useful.
Welcome to the Strike Back Pirate Radio. Striking back at big government with the most dangerous weapon in the arsenal of any resistance. The truth. I'm Brad Conway, and today, we're gonna talk about those strange reports from the Antarctic wastes. What are the creatures that have been sighted by multiple sources off the frozen coasts of Earth's southernmost continent? Some say there are human-machine hybrids stalking the tundra. Are some kind of monstrous government experiments taking place somewhere in those icy seas? And if so, who in our government is responsible? And what is the purpose of these unholy creations?
And he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire, and he'll be warm for the rest of his life!
Es un show at the Clown Museum in Arriba. Take the tour, then visit El Big Top and learn what...
Hello all. My name is Flash, and it is my pleasure to lead the land.
Mamones, the fuck you doing here? This ain't just a museum, pendejo. It's sacred ground. A shrine to the great joke. And you're gonna get it! Arriba, payasos!
You shoot me, pendejo! Now you see me, now you don't.
Executing order. Executing
Just wet your pants! Dance, pendejo, dance!
Tornado can carry out his evil designs on Winifred. Doug Bagman, the owner of the Trigger Whiskey Saloon, comes looking for Tornado Lou.
Hoko Foco! What have you done? What have you done? You killed Tornado Lou!
Shit!
Awaiting orders.
Stay focused.
Keep it together.
Bringing you your daily dose of monster movie facts. Did you know that the movie Escape from Psycho Prison was filmed right here in Colorado at the old Supermax prison? Oh, it's true.
Madam, please. I assure you, your bizarre shopping experience is completely safe.
You may have folks fooled, Amanda, but not me. I know something is fishy here, and I'm leaving.
Shame. Ah, over here, friend. Salutations and assorted felicitations. Welcome to the Bazaar, the marketplace of the unusual. I've not seen you here before. Know this, the Bazaar can be found underneath our feet, buried by layers of snow. Access is restricted to the lucky few who possess an entrance pass. You can purchase an entrance pass at the door from our esteemed hosts, the Monster Army. Or, if you lack the funds, simply find an established merchant to vouch for you. Oh, a misunderstanding, I assure you. There have been some troubles in the Bazaar of late. But nothing our esteemed hosts, the Monster Army, can't resolve. I assure you, inside the Bazaar awaits a satisfying and secure shopping experience. Up the ramp, you'll find the door to the Bazaar, covered by a vehicle. My name is Ananda Rabindranath, Manorite missionary, merchant, and your humble servant. I was assigned to answer any questions you may have. Felicitations. It is simple. To get inside, you need an entrance pass. You can purchase one at the door, or find an established Bazaar merchant to vouch for you. Any Bazaar merchant. Of course, they are usually found inside the Bazaar, not out here. In the encampment behind me, you could find some hopefuls looking to get in. Perhaps if you can aid them, they can aid you. Would that I could. But we are limited in how often we can vouch for outsiders. In theory, yes. But those of us who have a pass tend to safeguard it with our lives, so it is highly unlikely you would get to use another person's pass. I have heard of people giving their entrance passes to family members. Perhaps you have a rich uncle. Occasionally people disappear in the nearby ruins, and strangers acquire their pass. I'm sure I don't need to say this behavior is most untrustworthy and impolite. I can only hope I will have the answers you seek. I thank you. It is a pleasure to meet people of taste, a true rarity in these uncivilized lands. I endeavored to provide the teachings of Mr. Manners to those inside the Bazaar. Alas, they seem to prefer that I spread the good word out here instead. A folly, I think. But who am I to question our gracious hosts? Such a polite sentiment. Thankfully, Mr. Manners teaches us to always have a spare suit. I could not leave a fellow civilized soul in dire need. Here, take my spare. I shall fashion myself another. You do seem like people of refined taste, without a doubt. But a man of class does not abandon his employer at an inopportune moment. I don't wish to speak out of turn, but this is a dangerous time for the Bazaar. Friends, go inside, speak to Mr. Jacob Martin, or as others call him, Flab. When the Bazaar is safe again, my conscience will be clear, and I will be most pleased to join you. Naturally, I have a variety of goods for sale that could suit your needs. But let's not barter out here in the cold. Join me in the warmth and security of our encampment. This way, friends.
If civilization collapses, all of Colorado Springs will look like this.
The Book of Nauseatingly Correct Manners, Chapter 1, on the proper use of etiquette. It is a common misconception that etiquette exists as a means of affirming one's social status at the expense of the uninitiated. That is, it serves as a barrier to keep the uncivilized apart from their betters. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. Etiquette and proper manners are the glue that binds civilized society together. Felicitations. It is common wisdom to keep one's mouth shut when one lacks courteous things to say. Truly, I find the very idea of smuggling people revolting. With that said, if I were a less discreet person, I'd suggest that you drive out to the old parking garage down the road to the north. Who knows? You may find your answers there. Then I will endeavor to supply more answers. Ah, true cosmopolites, I see. Indeed, a Mannerite is one of the rare few fortunate enough to operate under the auspice of Mr. Manners, proponent of good behavior in these ugly times. Most of us reside in Angel Oracle, but I chose to travel and spread the word. We Mannerites believe that poise is only second to godliness. To live is to comport oneself with exquisite grace. If you're curious, I'd be more than happy to supply a copy of our holiest scripture, the Book of Nauseatingly Correct Manners. May it help you as much as it did me, and find your path to a life of civility. Of course. Our immediate environs are a safe area, protected by the Monster Army. Wander outside these confines, and safety is not guaranteed. I can't tell you more, as I've never ventured out there myself. They are the organization in charge of the bazaar. I've heard tales that once they were truly a monstrous gang, spreading fear all throughout Colorado. I'm happy to tell you that their current incarnation is much more sophisticated and civilized, though they have a ways to go. They are led by Mr. Jacob Martin, colloquially known as Flab the Inhaler, a man who has truly embraced his position and leads this place with panache. I do wish he had a better tailor, though. You can find him inside the bazaar proper, as he rarely ventures outside. Have an exquisite day.